Let's get after it. There you go.
Welcome to the Gold Medal Excellence Podcast. I'm your host, AJ Payne, along with my co-host, Chris Asher. And today in the program, we're joined by Giorgio Bryant. Giorgio, thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
I'm excited about this one because Giorgio to me is one of the more unique stories of anyone I've ever coached or worked with. So I'm glad we got him on here and we could talk about him and his journey.
Awesome. Start off, talk about your early years. You grew up, your youth years, your high school years, and what sports did you play growing up as a kid?
Growing up as a kid, man, I played baseball, pretty much the common sports, baseball. I ran track, football, basketball. Those kind of like the areas I did. Anything other than that, that was it. In high school, I kind of got it. Well, track started coming in the picture around like middle school. That's when a coach had picked me up because I was jumping pretty well. At the time, I didn't really know nothing about track because track wasn't big in Louisiana. And I got out of baseball and converted over to mostly track. But those three sports, just track and field, football and basketball, was my main sports in high school. So, long story short, I was in middle school. So at the time, I was like in the 7th grade, and I came into 7th grade. I believe I jumped like 22 feet or something like that, or some crap. Like it was pretty far at the time. And they had this coach. His name was Warren Plaza. And he was like, hey, man, you should really engage into doing track because, you jump pretty well. And it just kind of kicked off from there. I was mostly into baseball. I was a pitcher. But he kind of took me under his wing. He was a sprints coach. So actually, he didn't really know much about jumps, but he knew that I jumped well. And, man, the guy was like training like older guys. He had like a little, a junior team and stuff like that, still to this day. And he brought me over and I started doing track from then. I went on and won state 3 years in a row in high school. And then it just took off from there.
You moved on to California, attended junior college. Talk more about what it was like moving to California from Texas and what it was like starting out your college career.
Yeah, how did you even get there, Giorgio? How did you even?
So my family is from California. So as a kid, I used to coming out of California. So I was familiar with it. And the only reason why I chose California is because of my father's side. So my father and I, we always had a good relationship, but it's just that, he lived far from me. So we wasn't always around each other. And I just kind of want to know more side of their roots. So I ended up finding this college, Riverside Community College. That's the first college I ended up going to. And I just joined them. I didn't go there on no scholarship or anything like that. I came on as a walk-on. I told them what I jumped. I joined the football team as a walk-on, and we won state 2 years in a row. We did a great job out there. And then when I got done, I just wasn't done with California. I wanted to stay, and that's when I came to Western Texas College to get my grades better because at the time we had this coach. We played football at Riverside, and I'll say we wasn't really guided well with the credits, so I had to kind of find my way of getting my credits right so I could be able to get back to California. So that's in Josh Como and Brittany was the ones that they was going to Cal State LA, and I didn't have no other option because my grades, my credits wasn't good enough. And it was like, man, you should try to come over to this college, Cal State LA. And then that's when they had talked to you, and that's how I ended up getting over there. So
yeah.
Yep.
It's a unique story. I mean, the next question might go into that, but it's a unique story because I knew pretty much everyone. I recruited, I looked at lists. I don't know how I missed you. I didn't know anything, but I remember it. One day I was talking to Damian Smith, my man at Riverside City College, and he coaches sprinters there, even though he's a women's head coach. And it was a Sunday. I literally was watching football on a Sunday, like everybody does. And Damien either texted me or called me and said, hey, man, I got this guy, Giorgio. You should take a look at him. He's looking for a place to go. So this is like October. And I'm like, yeah, I got a little scholarship left. Somebody had, I don't know what happened. Somebody had dropped out or somebody was ineligible, but I had a little partial scholarship left. He's like, man, I got this dude. He was on my team. He's really good. He went to state. He ran for us. He played football. He's a really good athlete, but he's in Louisiana. And I was like, I was like, I don't even know this dude. How'd he come from? How did I miss him? And he's like, yeah, man, this dude's really good, Asher. You should take a look at him. And I remember I called you or texted you, and literally I was like, Giorgio, I need these like transcripts, this, and I said this story. A lot of recruits, they don't follow up or don't do stuff. And I talked to Giorgio on a Sunday, and like by Monday or Tuesday morning, everything I asked him to do, he did. He was like, had transcripts. I had, for every school he was at. I was just, and I knew he was good because Damian wouldn't have called me, but I was like, wow, because normally I had chased guys down 2 or 3 weeks to get stuff, So it was like, how did I not even know who he was or whatever? And then he was like, yeah, he was here at Riverside, and he went back like to Texas or to Louisiana.
Yeah, man, it was crazy because it was just the credits. Like I had colleges, like I had offers and stuff from all over, but it was because of the credits. So I felt like I ran out of options. So the school I was attempting to go to, which was actually Texas Tech, I did a recruiting visit to Texas Tech. I was supposed to go there, so that's probably why you didn't hear from me. I was supposed to go to Texas Tech, but that didn't fall through. So I was in a mix of trying to find something, and I knew of Josh, I knew of Brittany. And I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and go to Cal State LA. I'm gonna go out here, and my dad was out there, and man, it was good, man. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of guests on this podcast who went to junior college, and they all talked about how that was a big monumental step in your career. So, Giorgio, how much did junior college help you in your athletic career and player development?
It was the foundation. It gave me I think junior college is a great start, especially for athletes, because coming from the background where I came from, we wasn't really familiar about college. I didn't know, when I tell you I didn't know crap about college, all I knew is I just wanted to play sports. So it was a good grounding foundation for me to go there and kind of get a taste. It wasn't like a large crowd. Being in that environment where everybody is close to each other. It wasn't just like this major campus. It gave me a great guidance on what I actually wanted to become in college and stuff like that. So I would just say the community, how small it was, and to be able to communicate with coaches whenever you needed to, about credits or anything you needed to do, it was just there for me. So I would just say the community was a big jump for me.
Yeah, it was I got a lot of kids from Riverside. I tell people a lot of my recruiting was relationships. That's how I got Giorgio. It was like I didn't even know who he was. Normally, I knew who a kid was, and Coach, it was just a random. It was relationships. I tell people network relationships. It was me and Coach Smith, and he's like, "Man, I got this guy. He'll be really good for you, man. He's really good at going national." I'm like, "How come I ain't hear from this dude?" Or what? And he's like, "Well, he was playing football, He was doing this, and he went home. But he goes, man, I think only Oregon school or NAIA schools are looking at him, and he's like, man, I think you can get him, So, like, once again, it was something I say fell into my lap by accident.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was,
and it worked out tremendously.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you ended up playing with Chris at Cal State LA. So talk more about what it was like moving on to Cal State LA and what it was like playing for them and for Chris.
Man, it was a very big eye opener for me. That's the first time that I was on scholarship. So to be able to talk to him about that, and he was just like very helpful. Like he came in, he was one thing I loved about Chris when I came over there, he was just straightforward. Like I kind of skip a little bit ahead. I remember like my senior year, Chris may not know this, but my senior year, my junior year, I had a blast year. When that championship moved on, get to my senior year, and I was doing like hard weights. He'd tell us to stay heavy on the weights, stay heavy on the weights. And I'm gonna sum the story of why good of a guy he is. And he was like, stay heavy on the weights, man. Do this, do that, do that. So half the year I was doing extra. So I get in the meets, I'm doing poor. I'm not really doing as good as I was last year, this and that. So you remember that, Chris? You pulled me in the office.
Yeah, you were kind of falling off. I remember this.
Yeah, he was like, look, man, I done got you on here. I done done this, done that. Man, I need you to perform. But the whole time he didn't know I'm doing extra weights.
He's doing He-Man. He's trying to be He-Man, swole.
I come to the conference meet, kill it. I win everything that I needed to do. I win everything I need to go. And I mean, just that little moment right there, man, just the change of him. He was like a father figure to me because he was just straightforward with me, talked to me, he looked out for me, and it changed a good course of my career. It brought a different drive in me that I once didn't have. So I definitely appreciated that. So
For me, I would say Giorgio. You get recruits. Some of them take time to develop and come in. Giorgio came in January, so think about it. He came in January, and the season started in February. I'm talking about first meet we went to. Giorgio's like, he does a long jump. I know he's going to be good because, but you usually be like, it's going to take a guy to warm up. And I think he hadn't competed the year before. So think about it, he had a year off. So I'm like, man, it's going to take him like 2 or 3 months. By end of the year, he's going to be ready to go. First meet, Giorgio, like long jumps, best mark in the country. We're like the Cal Nevada meet. Run 100 meters, Giorgio just kills everybody. And I remember Octavius Gillespie was my assistant coach. He's like, man, Giorgio gonna kill these cats, coach. Like we got a killer and we got Como and Giorgio on a long jump. And I was like, nah, man, it's gonna take him some time to get going. Cause I would only work with Giorgio like 2 days a week on sprints because he was doing jump stuff. And first meet, I remember it was like 24:10 or some 20, whatever. And I was just like, this dude just walked out here and blasted these cats that have been working out, for a long time. I was like, they're gonna be like, where did he get this dude from?
Yeah, it was out of nowhere, man. I definitely did not expect to take off like it did, man. It was great.
I want to go back just to say because his first year, he won the national title in a long jump, and we go to the national meet, and usually, it's going to be a heated competition. But I remember Giorgio's first jump, he PRs and just throws a big one out there. He's like, "Woo, that was a big one." I remember he said that was a big one. and I remember being like, "No one's going to beat this guy." At that point, I was like, "No one's going to beat this guy." Like I didn't even expect him to do that year, and I had big expectations. But he just, I would just say, he won the sprints and the long jump his first year. I think he won the long jump and one of the sprints the next year. He was always on the relays, and he performed. He showed up. He performed every meet. He was never a problem. He went to class, and I was like, his second year, right, Jordan? You said you were lifting weights. Second year, what I remember, he cramped up a lot at meets. That's the only thing I remember.
Yeah. So it was kind of recap over that. Like, so the first year, the big jump came in. It was in that conference meet. So that's when the big jump came in. I think it was like I don't remember, man. It's like 20. It was like 25-6 or something like that. So that's when. But at that time, that's what we ran like 10-4 or something like that.
Yeah.
I literally walked the finish line. So that's when I started getting my exposure to how good of a, and this is not to toot my horn here. This is more so to show how good of a coach Asher was. He knew his game. You know what I'm saying? Like he knew exactly what he wanted to do. And I shocked myself that day, and I come back to the national meet, first jump, 26-1. It was that's my first time ever going that far, winning a national title. Let's also talk about the time that, the first experience of being able to he took me, and this is credibility to him as well, it got me to the USAs. Like that was a big thing too, because that's, seeing a guy coming from Division II, you got a coach that's down there that's doing great jobs with his athletes and bringing guys, and not just me, Josh Como brought him over there as well, got him over there to the USA meet, and we went out to Oregon, had a fun experience, and we went on from there, and we did a great year. Came back to senior year. I just tried to do something extra, man. Lifting heavy weights, trying to get stronger, because I knew I wanted that blast. When I come out there in the national meet, boom, first jump, I set a tone. But broke my ankle, unfortunately.
He did. Well, people don't realize his second year, he was defending national champion. At his first jump, he rolled his ankle. But I remember, and I had another guy. I remember we were running a relay, and I had another alternate to run. And I remember being like, "No, I'm going to roll with Giorgio." And his ankle wasn't right. But I still was like, "I'm rolling with Giorgio. I'm going to roll with my dogs."
Yeah.
And he really couldn't sprint that time, and I sit back and go, do you regret this? And I go, no, I'm going to roll with my dogs. I wasn't going to take this guy off. I was like, this guy's going to at least compete. And like that's who he is. And even when he hurt his ankle, he still got all American. Just it was a great career. And he's given me credit that I feel like I don't deserve. I appreciate it. But he was I just thought phenomenal things he brought to the program, the things he did in a short time span. He, like I said, he never gave me problems. A lot of times you get guys from junior college or bad academic situation give you problems. And he came ready to perform every week.
After Cal State LA, you started to play semi-pro football in various countries. So talk about your football career after college and the different countries you played in.
Yeah. So when I got done with track and field, actually I joined. Be honest with you, man, it went like 5 years before I even decided to do something like that. So at the time, man, I used to own I owned a nightclub actually. I owned a nightclub and I was running that. And I had this buddy of mine who was like, man, they got this semi-pro team that's in Louisiana, man. You should join. And I was like, man, I'm not about to do that, man. I got my club going on, I got stuff going on, and I've been out of shape. I haven't played ball in like 5 years. So he was like, man, you should do it. The first game we played this arena team in Texas. It was like some arena team on the verge of doing really well. I think it was like AFL or something like that. We had a scrimmage with them. So we come out there and I play corner because kind of reverse back, Asher helped me out on meeting up with like Ty Law and getting some workouts and stuff like that with cornerback because he knew I had a football career. And Asher loved his football. And so long story short, I go there to the arena football game. First game, I guess I didn't even know this. I was tied up with one of their top athletes. I guess he was like some guy that played like NFL, and then he came down or whatever. So I shut him down. I think the dude had like one or two catches or something like that. So literally at halftime, the coach comes down. No, the owner of the team comes down, offered me a contract. I didn't even play the second half. I came the following week, joined their team. It was called the Rattlers or something like that. So I joined their team. I played a season with them. So played like a full ball season to them. And then I get one of my good friends of mine. He used to play football with me in high school, but he played pro arena. He tells me about this overseas football league. And he was like, you can go on europlayers.com, sign up, and coaches will reach out to you. They be having NFL coaches. Long story short, I get my first deal. I go to Australia. After that, I went to Poland. I went to Germany. I went to Italy. I went to Brazil. Man, I played in the international league. I came pretty much made the Hall of Fame, did all of that, man, and had a great time, played international ball, had a long football career, played like 6 years, and then after that, I was through.
I'm gonna give you a little more background. Giorgio it was his senior year. He was done, track rate USA. He's like, Coach, I want to play some football. And I was like, well, Giorgio, I'm connected with some dudes. I was like, I got a dude that can do some DB training with you because he said, Coach, I did punt return in DB. I said, well, let me connect you with a guy. And then I tried to get him with some D2 schools. So he had a year eligibility left for football, but it didn't work out. But I remember being like, man, I was like, this dude can play next level. I was talking to some coaches for him. I was like, this dude is fast. And I said, he's an athlete. I said, I can't speak for his football skills because he hasn't played in a while. I said, but I said 26 feet and 10-4 don't lie. So it was. But then next thing you know, he's playing football. At an international level. And I'm like, what is this dude doing? And I'm like, this is amazing. I didn't even know all the countries that's one thing I said. You went to like Australia, you were in Europe.
Yeah, I got to go to a
I had other
CFL
football
camp.
dudes I was playing talking to me, man, Coach, how can I get in that Europe league? And I was like, let me call Giorgio.
Yeah, man, I went over there. It was actually great, man. I went over there. I played ball. I did international. I went to like a little private Chargers camp out there in San Diego. I came to California. Still got stuff from there. I did a little private camp over there. I did a private camp for CFL, Hamilton Tigers. It was I got a connection over there and stuff. And it was a good league, man. I think the GFL is a great. So if anybody else watching this and they looking to get in that GFL league, man, look at it. It's a great league, big crowd, big bowl game. Got some NFL players over there. It's a great league to get into. Yeah.
What was the experience you living there as an athlete in those countries?
So it's really like you live there, man. So basically they take care of everything, man. Like if they want you, they're gonna they're gonna pay for your flight. They're gonna put you in housing. You're gonna have an escort from the time that you get there all the way to your housing. You live like an NFL player, free gym membership, free health. I mean, I went to Brazil. I walk around, man. My advertisement on billboards. That's their NFL team. So a lot of people don't know that. I know they know about the NFL, but they don't understand that GFL does make some noise. They got a massive crowd. You get treated just like the NFL. You signing autographs. People know who you is. You pay for a big team like out there in Franklin or these big teams. Man, they treat you good over there, man. They pay for everything. You stay there like 8 months to a year. It's like you living just like an NFL player, man.
What was your favorite? What was your favorite country?
Australia.
I've been to Australia.
Yeah.
I was in Australia for my honeymoon. I loved Australia.
Oh man, it's amazing. Like a lot of people think when they think Australia, they think about the animals and all that stuff like that. Man, it's not like that in the city. Like I still want to move back there, man. Like I love it out there.
I had an old athlete from Fullerton, Joe Thomas. He married an Australian girl. He goes, Coach, I'm moving there. And Mike Powell, my boy, has the world record in the long jump. He even told me he broke the world record. He goes, I went to Australia, and he goes, after I broke the world record, I needed security, and I had two of my boys kind of managing me. And he goes, we got to Australia, and one of my boys, it was time to leave. He goes, I'm staying.
I'm telling you, man, it's so nice over there, man. Like Brazil is nice too. Brazil is very nice, man. It's we stayed in a beach, like a beach area, man. Get coconuts off the tree, all that good stuff. So it was cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
So after football, talk about the different businesses you've done after playing.
So after football, I committed totally to the IT career field. So there is a life after sports. That's kind of a field that I was kind of looking more into when I was in college. Took some courses in that, and my father and stuff is they've been working in the IT field, and started off desktop support. Now I'm a Scrum Master, project manager of in the IT field. So I work at CBS now. So I've been there for quite some time. And pretty much after that, I just kind of been doing that, work for big companies, work for IBM. Actually connected with a few people from college, from Cal State LA that hit me up. Got some good friends of mine I still conversate with from there. And we, kind of helped them out in a sense. I still talk to Brittany Asher. I still talk to Como as well. And that's it, man. I've just been working in IT now. I do a little bit of boxing on the side. I like to do that now. So that's kind of like my new sports challenging myself. So I actually do get in the ring. I do fight. So it's kind of like my thing now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, that's what I say. Giorgio to me is like a Renaissance man. I mean, I do a lot of stuff. People say the same thing to me, but I'm like, I got it from Louisiana, Cal State LA, Riverside, Cal State LA. Football for 6 years. Like, I remember being like, where's Giorgio at? You were in Dallas, IT. Now you're working with big companies. And that's what I tell people, like, life is long. You have to have a plan. And it's great to hear that because, athletics ended. You had some great athletic careers. You had great experiences. You got to see the world. That's why I think you're such a great story. And then you started with IT at the bottom, because me and AJ talk about careers, and I say, hey, man, it's hard. You got to start at the bottom. You got to grind up. I tell people, like, I had to start at the bottom of coaching. I'm doing my MBA now, and, I got businesses, and I'm getting in a financial world. But it's, to hear, from you, like, man, I'm working with IBM. I'm working with this, I don't know if I would have thought, like, hey, Giorgio's going to work for IBM and some of these companies, there.
No, yeah, I mean, it is a grind, but I can honestly say, man, the biggest thing that kind of got me through that was books. I was never a reader when I was growing up, but now I do a lot of reading. I do reading is kind of like my guide because, not to say my parents and stuff is not there, but my parents only know a certain level, and there's great leaders out here. You got old kings, you got people with great stories and stuff. You got these people out here that give all this great information, and it's kind of give you years ahead. And without them books, man, I think I probably would have got lost after that. So.
Talk to me about the boxing. I see you in the sparring, but you said, I think last week you had a match, or you was.
Yeah, man.
Man, I don't know. Boxing, I'm not getting in the ring with you.
No, man, it's not like that, man. It's for me, man. When I got done I honestly, actually, I still haven't found the answer of why I do it. I think it's more so of just I always like being the Aries in a sense. I feel like I always need a challenge in my life, and
Yeah.
boxing is so hard, man. It gives,
Oh my God, yeah. I
man.
sparred a
I
couple of
mean,
times at Freddie Roach's gym, and I remember doing 2 rounds. And I thought it was the hardest thing I ever did. I said, "This is way harder than any track practice. Just keeping your hands up." I remember, keep your hands up, and I throw a punch and drop it, and
yeah,
the dude would slap me in the face. Keep your hands up.
yeah, man. It's like it reminds me of sports. Well, it is a sport, but it reminds me of sports again because it's like a brotherhood. You know, you got that gym and you got brothers in there that you see every day, and how we can just get in there and exchange hits with each other, like we're really fighting. But in the end, it's like we can keep. It teaches you how to keep your composure, how to think through. I don't know. It's just like a chess game. Like I don't know. It's fascinating to be able to do that. Like I done got my nose bust, man. I done got my lips bust, man.
He's
I've
still
been
in there.
hit, and yeah, just it's something about it, man. Just like that brotherhood of just being able to, gain that respect. The respect you get in a boxing gym is like no other, man. So it's awesome, man. I just enjoy it. So.
I love boxing. Just I grew up loving boxing. I'm a big boxing fan. So when I see you do it, I'm like, look
Yeah.
at their boxing. I think I said to him, I said, Giorgio gonna be the next champ. Watch.
No, man. They trying to talk me into doing masters because I'm about to be 35. So they was like, "Hey, man, you should go out there and do." And I thought about it, man. I was like, "Man, you know what? I might get in there and try to win me a belt. Just that'd be my last challenge in my life, just to win me a belt."
I always say boxing is real. You can't fake boxing. There's no
No,
faking.
you can't.
You gonna take some. You gonna give some. You can definitely take some.
Yeah, you gonna get hit.
What is your advice out there for the next generation of young athletes?
Man, I would say, whew, I knew that question was gonna come. Um, I would say, man, put some read in your life, man. Read. I'll say if honestly, I'm not even gonna fake, man. If I didn't find that guidance, you know what I'm saying? Like, you need that guidance, man. Here, everybody always work on that physical part, man. Being in that gym, trying to grind and stuff. They feel like they got to shy themselves away from. You don't need to do all of that, man. As long as you got that proper guidance, man, you can go wherever you want to go, man. You can achieve whatever you want because the grind is in you. It's already in you. You just need this here to stay focused.
Yeah, Giorgio saying that I want you to realize Giorgio was back in the day. They've taken SATs away now. College has changed a lot of stuff, but Giorgio out of high school was a big time D1 guy. He didn't, he academics failed. He was short academically. That's why he went to junior college. That's why he ended up at Cal LA. It wasn't because of athletics. He could have been at a big. So to see him say that and say, I started reading a lot. I started getting information. I start educating myself. That's what I tell people. Study more, take it more serious, because when you're young, you don't think of that. You're just like, oh, I'm gonna play ball, I'm gonna do this. No, it will not take care of you. And I've trained lots of pro athletes and people like Giorgio talented. It ends very quickly. That's let's say from high school 15 to your early to mid 30s, so 20-year span. And then I know lots of people playing the pros, when they're done with NFL, they don't know what to do. You should always have a plan.
Yep.
What am I going to do after this? A lot of guys, they finish the pros. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to do. I'm just used to playing football, or I'm used to playing baseball, or whatever.
Yeah, I would say for the men, if you study them leaders, man, all these guys, you know what I'm saying? Just study them. Just understand what happened in life. Even yourself, Asher. Everybody got a past. They got something that they can maybe pass on to someone else to help guide you. I don't know. Asher, probably don't even know you from Adam and Eve, but you can come and tell me something that I can listen to your story and take something from that to help boost my career. You know what I mean? So, just that importance, man, just to be able to read them leaders, man. They got the stories, man. They lived a life, So put that 80 years, 90 years, 100 years, whatever. Put it in your brain. It'll guide you the right way. So make less mistakes.
Yep.
Well, Giorgio, Bryant, it's been a pleasure. I really enjoyed hearing your story. You have a really unique, powerful story. So thank you again for sharing it on the podcast.
Thank you.
Giorgio,
thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure, and I want to keep seeing your journey. I don't even know where you're at. You're in Dallas. You're in Louisiana.
No. I'm in Tennessee now, man.
Okay, you're in Tennessee.
Me and my girl have been together 2 years. We out here in Tennessee now, and living our lives as we both project managers, living our life, and hey, man, just enjoying it in sunrise. I got kids now, so they're growing up, just being a father and hey, living, man.
That is phenomenal.